Oh, welcome y'all to Black of the Berry. Yo, I got a question, Los. Look at where we are.
Is this a nostalgic feel?
We are back in Cass.
Is this deja vu?
So if we came back to Cass, we had to do it. We had to bring something big back to the table, right?
Of course.
So you know what? Let's just. I have to. There's a bit of a resume here to read.
Go ahead, brother.
So his EP Becoming is out on all streaming platforms right now.
Go get it.
He made his New York debut in the original cast of Spamilton. He's a Clive Barnes Award nominee.
Thank you, man.
He has also starred as Hudson in the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix. That shit is lit all the way. He made his Broadway debut in Aladdin, currently playing at the New Amsterdam Theater, where he's the standby roles for Babcock. But hold on, he's got one more.
What?
The motherfucking genie, and his name is Juwan extra motherfucking Crawley. Please, Los, cue the applause for us, please. Edit that. You got the fucking whole.
No, but that's my visual cue. So when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what they're talking about.
Yay!
Well, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Blackberry first. How do you feel? What's going on?
It's great. I have coffee, so everything's good.
Okay.
He's moving and moving. Listen, we've been kind of kicking it with Juwan early, so listen, we're gonna just we're gonna ask him the questions that I know a few of you have came here to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you just take us back to the day that 22-year-old Juwan decided to audition for the role as the genie and then get the role?
That was crazy. So, fun story. I auditioned for that show, the national tour of that show, a few times when I was in college. And the resident director and the resident MD, music director, was just like, no, he's too young, his voice is too high, like, this is not going to work. And I was 21 at that time. They're like, but, great job, just keep, doing your thing. I was like, whatever, I'm in school, I'll get something else. And so a year had gone by, I had done Spamilton at that point, and I got called in for Mean Girls the Musical, which is the same director, choreographer. And
Corey Nicholas.
Casey Nicholas.
Casey Nicholas.
I did that too. I did that as well. But he's still chill.
Okay, cool.
Casey Nicholas.
Oh, Casey.
Edit
that, please, Lawson.
The King of Broadway and Tina Fey as well.
Oh shit.
And so I went in for that show and I auditioned for Damien and I sang Rainbow High and it was not my best, I didn't think, but it was for the associate director choreographer Casey Hushin and Tina's husband who wrote the music for the show, Jeff Richmond. And they're like, oh, you have to sing that for Casey and Tina. And I'm like, all right, sure. So then they called me back because I was like, that was awful. They're like, no, it's fine, sing this for them. They called me back, I sang the song for them and they were kind of like, what the fuck? So I sang Rainbow High up a half step because why not? And they were like, oh, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just gonna do what I do always. So they were like, oh shit, this is crazy. So then they called me back again for the team and the producers and stuff, yada yada yada. And they taught me the dance for the number, but only part of the dance. So I went to the final callback for that show. And they were doing the dance and they had only taught me the first 6 bars of this dance, but it was a full dance. It was like everybody on Broadway who's ever danced on Broadway in this audition room with me, not a Broadway dancer. A band, piano, guitar, bass, drums. I was like, what in the Broadway hell have I gotten myself into?
It's a full work.
A full work. And these people have been doing this dance at this point for at least a year. They have been doing these auditions. And Tina and Casey were talking to me in the corner, like, hey, we know that really such a part of the dance, but just be yourself, just have fun. I was like, all right, sure.
What does that even mean?
Thank you.
Right?
I know.
How do you what is your direction?
Just
Just be you. I was like, okay, great. So we're doing the dance call. I'm doing it. I'm trying to hit the steps. I'm kind of doing it. And then the dance continues, and I'm just standing there, and I just hear someone say, well, be yourself. And I was like, okay, well, myself would be in the middle of the room. So I stopped while people are dancing. I walked to the middle of the room, and I'm like, what would I do? And so I just started twerking. And
I'm not mad at that.
You know what? They said be yourself, and that's what I would do.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that.
That is fucking great.
Everyone started cracking up, and then after that, I went to go sing. They're like, "When lazy hear you sing, you would be fabulous in the show, but I think you'd be an even better addition to Aladdin." And so he created a new position for me as a genie standby in that show. And then that's also the same audition that booked me Kimmy Schmidt.
Talk about that.
So, I mean, I had been told no from the resident director and the resident MD many times, like pretty much a year before. Because they didn't have the license to make the type of changes that were necessary to cast me in the show.
Okay.
So getting the chance to be in front of the director and the choreographer, the type of person who has that authority, to say, oh no, this is an exception I would like to make for my show, was the thing that got me in the room. And
Look at God.
truly, I mean, there wasn't a position for me. They literally created a whole new position at the show. Prior to me, there's only been one standby in the Broadway company. Deontay Warren was standing by when they hired me. He still is, my big brother.
Shout out Deontay, he's lit.
I love Deontay. He's a beast. He's so incredible.
He's a savage.
Deontay and Major both are just, I love them. Those are my big brothers. But the next thing I knew, I was 22 and standing by and sometimes playing the genie on Broadway.
Jesus Christ, that has to be.
That's a whole lot of clout right there, boy.
But then you're the genie and then you're Babcock too.
Yeah. I covered 2 parts.
So can we just just real quick talk about how physically demanding and mentally demanding is it for you to have to be basically ready on 2 cues all the time?
I think that for me, it's a little more mental. Once I'm doing it, we've done it so many times that our body's like, oh yeah, this is what it is. But it's just like the mental preparation
Right, absolutely.
of sometimes not doing it. I mean, I had a point where I didn't do the show for 2.5 months, and then they called me. They're like, hey, Juwan, you're genie tonight. I'm like, okay. And who was in the audience? Beyonce. Like, it's all a mental game. You just never know, and just
You
always
were
have
out
to be
here-
ready. Yeah, it was crazy.
Check my hand.
You're out here. You
Yeah.
ain't never had a friend like Juwan.
That was your first show on as the Aladdin. Was it that one where Beyonce was in?
No, that happened like a year or so in. I
Okay.
think my
Well, I mean-
first one was, my Broadway debut was May 23rd, 2017, which was like a year and a week after I graduated college.
Nice. Look how God works.
Truly.
So there is a question that I want to ask you that we talked about off air before the cameras got rolling.
Yes.
Yes. Before we get into that one question, I want to speak about the relationship between yourself, Deontay, and Major, who personally, Major, you're the fucking man. If you're watching,
Yeah, he's
Major,
dope. He's
you're a
the
fucking
best.
beast.
I see Major. Major is dope.
Yo,
I
he's
was
a
in the fourth- I was in the 4th row. I was looking at Major's soul when he was like this.
Yep.
I was like, nah.
He was like conjuring something, and then he's so fucking smooth with it. Like,
Ain't he? Oh, he's so funny.
yo,
He's so funny. It's incredible.
Also, too, it also speaks to the talent in which all 3 of you guys possess to be able to be physically the role and still be able to go. You know what I mean? Because you guys are not small guys. You know?
No.
You know?
Yes.
You know. So,
this is some athletic shit. y'all
yeah.
pulling
So
off.
I'm like, okay.
Well, Disney did a study with ESPN.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's like technically supposed to be physically impossible to do it, like on all regards.
Because you're running, I think, what was it, like 2.5, 3 football fields? Like, it was like 888 steps in like 6 minutes. It's a 7-minute dance of a song, right?
It's insane. The whole number, including the scene, is like 12 minutes. So
Jesus.
scene's a song, and then if you count the exit scene, like maybe 13, 14.
Whoa.
And then you have to be on it, and you cannot be tired. You cannot, the audience will hear the smallest thing. Major.
Well, I think you can be tired. You just can't let anybody else know you're tired.
Well, at least Major to me, when I saw him,
You don't get tired.
son,
Kevin Gates.
he was out here wilding. I was like, yo, you ain't got to do this like this, brother. You just, excuse me. But back on to the, how is it that you, Deontay and Major, have such a close relationship, and y'all are more or less, yeah, y'all are competing,
Well, I mean-
especially for us as football players who used to play in college.
Yeah.
It was like death to all.
There's no competition. Deontay and I like our roles as standbys, which I think is really important. In Major, that person you saw on stage, that heart, that love, that light, that's who he is in life. So he's also very secure in himself. So he's not threatened by...
Now looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, no, because listen, this is how it is. When one of us comes up, especially black people on Broadway, and then to be large black men on Broadway, one person coming up is all of us coming up.
Right.
So there really isn't competition. It's just like, yes, bro, you got this. Let's do this. Let's all, because one of us doing better is better for all of us. And Major is just like, he's just like that big loving person who, even if he was competitive, he wouldn't be, because he's just like, do you, man? I'm glad that you're doing this better. I work on this. Can you show me how to do that? Like, that's the type of person he is. Right. But also, he's the same person you can go to and say, hey, man, like, I'm struggling with this in this particular part. How do you do it? And he'll share everything with you. And that's part of what's made our relationship so easy. Because that Major is the head of that.
Absolutely.
And it comes from him. And, of course, it was just like a big family.
Awesome. That is peace and love. You know, peace. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we also like to see brothers coming together.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
On a coalition of brothers.
Because that is definitely, you know, us Black and the Berry, we definitely call ourselves the safe space and safe haven for creatives of all kinds. But we definitely like to cater to, like, you know, our brothers and sisters who look like us to make sure we get the message out there for everybody, you know, who may not understand, you know, that something like, you know, Broadway is a viable job for us, you know, if you do have the tools necessary that you could, you know, if you go to school and you do everything right, you could potentially, like, you know, do it for a living.
You don't even have to do everything right. You just have to get in the room and do you.
You hear that? From the man to your ears. Y'all heard what he said. Now, okay. Disney part is over with. That's we appreciate that, but we are here to talk about Juwan.
Absolutely.
And Los, can we just let's go ahead and bring this back to how we do. So what was it that?
All right, here goes left field.
What was it that Juwan had said when we were all just here kicking it?
Sure, you want me to repeat this?
Are you cool with us?
Yeah.
All right, so Disney section's over. So back to the.
Give him 5 seconds to tune out if you're here for Disney.
Yes, hold on.
Okay.
All right, we're on my own.
All right, here we go. Yeah. You stayed. You wanted this.
Yeah. So, while while we were you know, in preparation to record, Juwan was talking about how you know, he has a high sex drive. You know,
I'm a double Scorpio, so it's like.
What do you mean double Scorpio? Because I'm a Scorpio. What do you mean double Scorpio?
My moon and my rising are both Scorpio. Well, my main and my sun are Scorpio. My moon is Sagittarius.
I'll be honest with you. I have no idea.
Yeah, break it down for me.
Yeah. Can you break it down for me? Because I
don't know if you knew, but he looked lost.
Yeah, I was gone. You were talking. I was just like,
I'm just getting more into this myself. So there's, the like your natal chart is like 100 signs, but the three that you focus on are like your ascending, your sun, and your moon, right?
Okay.
I think.
Right.
2 of mine are Scorpio. November 20th, 1994. So I'm like right on the cusp.
I got you.
Double Scorpio. So
yeah.
He's not just freaky. He really freaky.
He really freaky, diggy.
Freaky. So Juwan was talking about how he has a high sex drive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, brother, go ahead. You know,
because we were talking about the episode that we had with AK and Shells and how she was putting science to how y'all motherfuckers be out here get caught cheating. You know what I mean? When you sticking your dick everywhere and you coming back home with the dirty dick and you changing your girl's pH level.
Yeah, the bad batch.
You know what I'm saying? You got the bad batch. So Juwan has said that
it's true. Everybody's not compatible with everybody.
Talk about it.
That's just facts. I mean, like, since we're going here, like, I personally don't suck dick. It's not a thing that I like doing. I'm much more of an ass guy, and I talked to my ENT about that, and she's like, well, you know, just because I'm super sensitive, so if I eat your ass and then my throat's tickling, I'm like, oh God, what did you give me?
WebMD.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I was talking to my doctor, my ENT, Linda Dahl, who is the greatest. Also, I use Paul Kwok, who is also amazing.
Shout out both.
I was talking to her about the fact that, you know, sometimes when I partake in sexual activities, I'm a little sensitive in my throat, which is like a big thing for me because I'm a singer.
Right.
And she's like, well, no, you just have to understand that everybody's chemical balance is not right for everybody else's chemical balance. So if you're with someone whose body does not match yours, you can have a reaction that isn't necessarily an STI.
That was
Get your pH levels checked out, people.
And that's why also it spoke to, like, you know, what AK was talking about, because, you know, she's in the poly relationship, how, you know, you got to give them the right diet sometimes, you got to change shit before you even start to partake in that. But when we were speaking about all that, son, we ain't getting on
that.
No.
I'm stubborn
we young in the game, but we got this.
So I'm like, okay, cool, you know, by all means, brother, spill your beans. So then he goes,
No, because he said that because he was talking about eating pussy.
Right.
He don't suck dick, but he eating some pussy. So now.
No, not vagina. Oh. Only ass.
Oh, only ass?
Only ass.
Okay, well, you know what? Oh.
There's still oral fixation, regardless.
Regardless of it. So when it's going down, there you go. I'll let you.
Oh. So he basically said that he has so much sex that he's surprised he hasn't had herpes yet.
I'm shocked.
I don't even know how to even take that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, I'm curious yet slightly intrigued.
Yes, how do you? Please go into further
elaborate for the people out there.
for the people out there.
I'm truly surprised. Listen,
First of all, what's a lot of sex? Because people got different.
Oh, do you really want to know? I'm a hypochondriac, so I have a really strict black book.
Oh,
Come on, let's go. With this black and berry.
Let's break it down maybe weekly or daily.
Well, I have I moved to New York in 2016, and I slept with 138 people.
Since
2016, not 18. Sorry.
So that's about 4 years since you said 138.
38,
and there's 12 months.
Yeah.
Carried a one. There's an exponent there somewhere.
But you don't play safe?
Always safe.
So then why are you surprised that you don't?
Because herpes.
138, mother. You hear that number? That's triple digits.
That's very true.
Well,
hold on. Is my mic out? Y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, but herpes is not just something. I mean, obviously, when you're having penetrative sex, you want to use condoms. That's always informative. But if someone has genital herpes and they blow me, I am at risk for getting genital herpes.
That is very true.
That's how that works.
So you have that stiff arm. You're like,
No, I just.
Is there a screening process for you?
I have a writer.
I'm about to say.
I do have a writer. It's
he looks
very
like the
intense.
guy.
Let's get into it because we got it because
138 people went past this clearing though, so it must not be too rigid.
It's pretty rigid. There's just a lot of hoes in the city. There's a lot of people in New York.
a lot of clean hoes.
A lot of clean hoes, myself included.
Okay, good for you.
That's kind of contradicting, but we'll get to that later.
No, it's not contradicting.
Not at all.
Clean hoes?
Hoes are clean.
Yeah.
And actually, statistically speaking, not to correlate hoes or whores with sex workers,
right.
But sex workers are and tend to be much healthier and cleaner and up to date with their sexual status than random partners you
look at that. Change the narrative. Some people out there didn't think that.
Just knowledge.
They definitely. You have to because that's what they do for a living, so they're gonna make sure that they're right. You know what I mean? They can't be up. They wouldn't be able to make money if they're known as the. You know what I'm saying? Now, but back on to or dirty man or dirty hoe. Either way,
your dirty batch.
You got the dirty dance. Now, so talk about your writer. Let's get into that.
Okay, it's long. I need to see your test results. I need to have the email in your hand, and it has to have been within the last 2 months.
Okay.
If you are expecting to have sex without a condom, you must be on PrEP.
Okay.
Just because common sense, too many people died and got hurt for us to be stupid like that. Mm-hmm. I'm also not gonna kiss you, or blow you, or touch you on our first two. You have to earn that.
Okay.
Unless I love you. If I love you, then you can have all of me. But that's not this.
I got you.
You know?
So there's no random one night stands.
No, they're all random, but I'm the only beneficiary.
But I'm saying, do they have to do the screening process if it's random? You're at a bar, you're like, before we do anything, fill this questionnaire out.
No, truly, I can be talking to someone. We can feel the vibe. I keep my test results on my phone, so if we're gonna do something, I need to see the last time you were tested. Because people lie.
That's a fact.
Yeah, you're not gonna get me.
Well then,
I'm not mad at you. I'm not.
So but having said that, I'm still shocked that I don't have herpes. Just because, on a scientific level, most people have herpes. It's
Whoa!
It's true.
I thought it was 1 out of 4.
No, I think it's down to 1 out of 3, which is most people
Nah, fuck out of here.
No,
I just got tested.
There's a stigma about it. There shouldn't be a stigma about herpes. It's not a thing. It stays
with you forever. That's
no, because you remember there's different kinds of it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Isn't everybody born with the
cold sore one?
Like,
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, no, I'm not saying.
I think that everyone has been exposed to it at some point.
Right. Because cold sore is a small dose.
That's what I'm saying. It's like some kind of strand of herpes. Like if you ever got a cold sore, then you probably got some form of herpes, but it doesn't mean that it's like maybe
It's not the one
that's what I'm saying. There's levels to herpes.
It's not
I don't
the one
really
that
know.
This one's a vacation, one's a permanent resident.
No. The truth is that once you have it in you, you have it. Period. A lot of people have herpes their entire life and are asymptomatic. A lot of people have it and have like one outbreak and then they're done for the rest of their life. But the truth of the matter is that whether you have it or not, it's actually not a big deal. That's what it comes down to. And it's something that I think is another stigma thing, similar to like sex workers and HIV people who are non-detectable or under medication. Like non-detectable means that you're non-transmittable. But there's just social stigma around things because people don't like to talk about sex because we don't talk about it in school.
Well, here's the question. Would you have sex with someone who is non-transmittable?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to say that I would be like out having a random hookup with someone who's non-transmittable and not use a condom. I would still use a condom. But if I fell in love with someone who was HIV positive but undetectable, then that wouldn't stop me from having a full functioning healthy relationship with them.
Peace and love. Good for you. Look at that.
That was beautiful to hear.
Yeah, that was some good shit.
It's also just like basic like education that we don't get unless we're exposed to that.
Right. Absolutely, no, you're right because
That's definitely true.
I personally can't lie. I don't know if I would even think that wouldn't even be like the minute I heard that they had HIV, it would just be like, yeah, I just me personally, but that's also because I don't have that science and knowledge.
But that's what I think is without the knowledge, we're not open enough to know about this. But let's not talk about that anymore. Let's talk about the actual stuff about what he's doing. Yeah, 100%. EPs, the work he's actually doing.
My next single is called "Still Don't Have Herpes," so I'm kidding.
It's actually an tutorial.
So, you co-starred on season 4 on the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and you were Hudson. You played a 14-year-old. How was that?
Because I sound 12. And with this beard, I look like 30.
I'm about to say.
But it's like a nice net.
Nah, but like,
it's a nice net. When I shave, I look.
Yeah, you did look. Again. Yeah, you look like a kid. It was like I was watching Don.
Big ass kid. You know what I'm saying?
And I was bald, but nobody cared. I was like, thank you so much.
Oh, that was a wig?
No, I was literally bald. Oh no, the wig at the end was a wig, yeah. But like when I'm doing the wrestling match and all this stuff, all these scenes, I have no hair. But I just sound so young that people just accept it.
He's like, look at that bald 12-year-old. Look at him go.
Also, I think that the genius that is Tina and Jeff, they have me playing against Titus. So of course me being bald is not an issue when the person I'm being directly compared to is Titus.
How was it working with Titus?
Amazing.
So like what kind of jewels and tips did you pick up from the man?
I mean, my the biggest thing I learned from Titus is I was sitting down talking to him. I was so nervous because it's a person who I've been compared to my entire life, who like I've looked up to for all of my life.
Wow.
And he was asking me about Aladdin, yada yada yada. And there was a situation when I started Aladdin where like maybe they're going to change the keys for me because the original keys are low. And me and my team decided that was not the correct thing to do as a 22-year-old walking into an established company, make everybody sing up a fifth when I'm on every other week. Like, that's not cognizant of the environment.
Right.
So not to do that. And Titus said, well, I just want to let you know, though, that when they hire you, they've hired you.
Mm-hmm.
So what they need to do to make sure that you can do your best performance, let them do.
Right. I got you.
If they didn't think that the company was capable of making those alterations, they wouldn't have offered them.
Right. And they knew what they got. You know, they heard you sing before, so they already knew what they're getting.
Exactly. He was like, listen, man, I'm just telling you, like, going forward, you have to take care of yourself because in this industry, we are the people who have to take care of us. People will use and use and use, which is their job. Like, everyone wants to make money off of everyone. Mm-hmm. But you have to be able to say, well, no, you hired me.
Absolutely.
And so this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do. Not in a disrespectful or arrogant way, but just as a respect for you as an artist. We would never go to a director and be like, hey, we need to change the blocking of the scene, yada, yada, yada. No, because the director is there to direct. Right. If I'm here to act and you've hired me, then you know what I'm going to do, what I'm capable of, and I also have my limits.
I got you.
And that was the biggest thing I took away from working with him.
Can you speak about the balance of being multifaceted and all these different avenues and not being run down? Because you
Well,
have
I mean, it's not that there's no up and down.
well, you do a good job of hiding it.
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
Not showing.
It's just the coffee. That's right.
You're codependent. I see it now.
Coffee and
That is one of the
I try
first
to
things you said.
nice vacations often.
Okay.
But I think the truth is that I'm so fortunate and so blessed and so grateful to be doing all things that I love.
Right. So it doesn't seem
So
like work. to you.
it doesn't. Yeah, no. Like I can be tired, but it's not tiring.
Right.
It puts into me. It pours into me. It fills me to give that much of myself. It's. I don't have balance. It's the thing my friends will tell you. Like, no, Juwan disappears for 7 months. But I'm working on things, and that brings me a type of satisfaction that it's okay to stay up at 4 o'clock writing music and knowing I have to be up at 7 to get ready for the 1 o'clock matinee that I may or may not have to do to come do the podcast and then go talk to my Otirier for my fashion line, then go meet someone about the pilots I'm writing, then go back to the studio. That all, it all pours into me like every day.
It sounds like fun though.
It's so much fun.
That sounds lit. I wish my schedule was like
It makes it feel like lit, like I'm an actual business person. Like, shoot, I gotta be here, gotta be here.
I'm
I
out.
was supposed to leave 2 hours ago. Sorry. You know?
Call me.
You know, so that speaks to your dedication and like you said, the love that you have for what you do.
Well, I don't want to take advantage. I mean, I don't want to take for granted the opportunities I've been given. A lot of my classmates are working actors, and a reality sometimes being a working actor, working artist, is that you're often in between your next opportunity. And so you still need to like make money, but because I have been blessed to just go from job to job to job to job, it feels like a responsibility to use that time and those resources wisely to honor all the other artists who want to be doing that and can't.
Absolutely. 100%. I have so then speaking to that point, because you obviously are on Broadway, responsible to be there for 8 days. Excuse me, 8 shows.
Yeah.
8 shows out of a 7-day week. Y'all think about that. You only have one off day.
Yeah, one off
Damn.
day. Which is never off because that's my studio day.
So then also too, you like you said, we said earlier, you released Becoming, which my favorite song on that is Extra. That
Thank
shit
you.
is
I love
that shit
that
is
show.
life. Then on top of that, you obviously are still looking to do other shows in acting, obviously, i.e. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
So I know you're still auditioning.
Yeah.
And then you also produced an off-Broadway show.
Yeah. Thick Blood, Thick Water by Morgan Dean. They're wonderful.
How? Like I
That's
know,
what I'm
like
saying, man.
that's.
Energizer Bunny. What kind of coffee is that, by the way?
This is a cold brew with 2 shots of espresso.
But what is your?
that's the formula. Okay.
And when I say how, what is your creative process for all that? And how do you? So how are you able to go from producer, right, the producer hat, to then go into the actor hat, to then go into the musician hat? Like, how does that, like, can you just speak to, and then go into auditioning?
Yeah.
Then that means becoming and trying to create a whole nother character, a whole nother entity. Can you talk about how you manage your time?
With that.
There is, well, you sleep as much as possible, but also have to be aware that it's as little as possible as well. It's like, this is the most I can get, but this is also the like least I need to function. So we do that. And then generally, like,
It's like a formula.
What is your average?
I need, for my voice, I need to sleep at least 7.
Good for you.
Just so I can, if you're not full, you can't pour out anything.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be pouring out of myself at 50%.
100%.
That's not going to be precise. Well, exactly. I want to be pouring out of myself at 100%. So rest. I do drink a lot of water, contrary to what you see now. I do drink a lot of water. I also spend a lot of time by myself, just working on the things. It's a lot of isolation, not purposeful isolation, but like there's only 24 hours in a day. And at any given point in time, I'm responsible for at least 5 things.
Yeah. I think that gives you time to lock in though, because you're by yourself.
Absolutely.
There's no distractions. You can work on whatever you need to work on, and you give each project its own allocated time.
Yes. I also only do one thing at a time.
Okay.
So like,
Because that could be confusing.
yeah, it is. It's so much. I mean, there'll be points in times where like I'm writing a song and the design will come to my head and I'll be like, oh, I need to sketch out this dress that I'm gonna send so and so, and then be like, oh wait, no, you can't and then I'll come back to the music and I've lost like the next thing that I was about to do in the music. So I've learned to really be like hyper focused on the one thing I'm doing. When I'm doing the show, I'm doing the show. Not doing any other stuff in between. When I'm in between times on stage, I'm thinking about what I have to do when I'm doing the show. But when I'm not there, I really let it go.
Absolutely, as you should.
And focus on the next thing. When I'm in the studio with my producer, phone's off unless we're recording something, and that's all I'm thinking about. I think that type of hyper focus has been really, really helpful in being able to do so many different things.
Absolutely.
So notes for you too. I want to ask, and I kind of want to steer back into Broadway in general.
Yeah.
Because I know you're still auditioning for roles. So what is the difference between auditioning for something on Broadway, live theater, versus auditioning for something that's going to be just on television, like, you know, just a TV show, like, or pilot?
I mean, for me, it's mainly a different acting approach. Because, you know, Broadway theaters, not just Broadway, but regional touring, we're playing these huge houses. That Broadway theaters are the smallest theaters, because everyone comes to them, like, we're not going anywhere, it's like where we are.
Absolutely.
Touring companies play these huge houses because they're there for less time, more people want to see the show. And so it's designed, that type of acting is designed to reach the back row of the balcony or the mezzanine. Big, over the top, still grounded in truth, but certainly heightened. Whereas with TV and film, it's a little more chill, like you can just be, in a way, because you don't have to play to the back row because your scene partner is really the camera and it's right here.
Right.
So it's really not that hard for you to just kind of transition between the two of them.
Well, I went to school. That's why, you know, in school they teach you those differences. And for me, like, I am a little bit of a dramatic person in life. Not a little bit, I'm very extra, as the song says. But so for me, it wasn't so much to learning how to turn it on for theater as much as it was learning how to turn it down for TV and film, but it's not losing my authenticity.
Yeah.
Because you can't lose that in TV and film because it's just right here. Like, people, they'll tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's someone, that's so fake.
Yeah.
We've all seen it.
Yeah,
I won't say where, but like.
Nah. You can shout it out. We here for all that shit.
No.
He's like, no smoke, please.
No. My publicist would kill me. She'd be like, why are you talking shit about people?
What did they do to you?
No shade.
So have you read the article? We're still on Broadway. Have you read the article by Betsy Strucknitz, I believe her name is? She wrote an article about dancers as well as ensemble members in Broadway plays and how their position in the company is changing. So now their pay needs to reflect that more because they are on stage.
I mean, I think the truth is that, and I love my fellow principal actors out there, our job is a different type of taxing. It's mentally taxing. There's a lot of like stress from corporate parts, you know, for us to like, because we are, unfortunately, it's kind of like skewed that the principals get all the glory in the show. The reality is, though, that at least on a physical level, the ensemble has always been doing so much more work than anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're dancing, they're singing, they're still acting. And I mean, I can speak for part of the amazing, specifically about Friend Like Me, and again, the genius that is Casey Nicholaw. Of course, the genie is doing a lot, but the ensemble is doing so much that it's kind of channeled through the genie, so it elevates us like this. But the people who are doing like also lifting their weight, I mean, really, is the ensemble, and it becomes a whole picture thing.
Absolutely.
And because you have one person who's standing out costume-wise, body-wise, vocally-wise, that's where your attention goes, but you're feeling the cumulative energy of everyone on stage. And that's always been the job of the ensemble. And those big Broadway musicals, it's hard to function without the ensemble because it just takes so much to produce that type of energy. And principals, we can't do the storytelling we need to do and also always produce that level of energy.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to be able to keep up the system.
We have to be able to really drop in a way that makes the person in the back row feel that we're dropped in. But the ensemble, they can maintain that 110% thing.
Absolutely.
Throughout their, it's incredible. I mean, people do it for their entire careers. And I do think they should be paid more. And I think that they really should be recognized. I don't know why there's not a Tony for them. There's a conversation about that. I feel like that should be happening because a lot of these shows would not be functioning without these people who put their bodies through so much.
She was speaking about so she was from Hamilton, and she was speaking about that because she was just breaking down about how she had to make certain decisions when it came to taking care of her body.
Of course.
Because not only does she, she's got to have physical therapy, then she still has rehearsals though.
Yeah.
Then she still has the show. Then she has like to decide like what to eat and when to eat. Like, does she go healthy at a later time, or does she just go eat now and then sacrifice the health and just to get kind of like the fast energy but feel shitty later? It was a fascinating read to me.
I mean, I think that part of it all is certainly a thing that everyone thinks about on Broadway. Just the schedule of 8 shows a week.
Yeah, how
Insane.
It is insane. It's like I'm glad that I am on Broadway, but I think sometimes it's a little immoral and unethical. My voice teacher in college always told me that whatever show you're doing will close before you die. You have to make sure that you're putting on a great performance, of course, but performance that is sustainable and is healthy, that you can walk away from that show and still do another show.
That whole vocal longevity.
Yeah, and the physical as well,
longevity
and also mental. Like, it's such a game, and it's really a balancing act. Figuring out how much of yourself you can give consistently and still pushing and growing, but your job is to be able to do the show and to do the next show and to do the next show.
Yeah,
so figuring out how much you can give that will still allow you to come to work. And then penultimately, when that show closes, you can still walk away better, not
worse.
Not worse.
Yeah, and then especially when it comes to the holiday season, because then your schedule was changed to like, what are y'all doing, like 10, 11 shows in a week?
I know that a lot of shows have like 9 or 10 show weeks during the holiday season.
That's insane.
How do you, and then there was also just a dispute, I guess, with the Actors Union and some of the Broadway companies in regards to affording the original Broadway companies royalties when they're making these up and coming shows.
Yes, absolutely. They listen.
Talk about it.
It's not every show is not going to be a hit Broadway show.
Mm-hmm.
There are some shows that open, and I'm not going to say the show, but there's a show that opened and closed the night it opened was the last show.
Damn.
Like that.
I would feel
happens.
shitty if I was that crew.
No, but it's got to be. But that's a culmination of things, though.
Yeah,
marketing and all that.
Yeah, that can't just be them.
But sometimes it's just like there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee in this. But when something does take off, like a Hamilton did, like a Wicked does, like an Aladdin, like a Phantom, the people who are in that room, the creative team, and any creative team will tell you that, they're pulling from what these actors are coming up with. There is never a show where they're like, this is exactly what it is, and then they do that, and then that takes off, and it's No, everyone is especially that original cast. It's a cumulative effort to get something to where it needs to be to become that thing that is making $3 million a week. Okay. And also, we also have to keep in mind that the percent of royalties is not it's not high. People are asking for 1% of 1%.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw.
So it shouldn't even be an issue. Like you would, when you're making $3-4 million a week, which is not normal. That doesn't always happen on Broadway. Like this is currently happening with Hamilton. All the other hit shows are making 1-2, but it should not be an issue for you to give 1% to the people who helped create that.
Absolutely.
And then y'all just were fighting for raises too at the same time because y'all contracts haven't changed since 2000 and.
Well, I don't know about all of that.
There's a whole CBA bargaining going on in there.
I work for Disney, so they pay us above.
See, I was following Deontay because he is I guess he was a union member or a representative or something.
Oh, I don't know, but I know Deontay is much more involved, for better or worse. You know what I was telling you? How I only have time for certain things. These things are things that escape me.
I got you because you work for the mouse, so it's different.
Yeah. But Deontay's just in general a little more cognizant of things around him. I'm very much about my art.
I got you.
Deontay has a little more of a universal perspective, and he can do his art and still be like aware of stuff that's going on in the world.
Did you hear what they did about that? You know, stuff like
That's
that.
because I follow all of them because I think they're all hilarious and great people.
Thank you.
And I was seeing it on Deontay's thing because he was like out there, and I was like, oh, you working for the mouse and talking that shit? I was like, oh, I fuck with him. I fuck with son.
What I will say is that Disney, they truly, truly, truly appreciate. We're back on Disney. Sorry about that.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry about that. We'll leave it a second.
They truly, truly appreciate having multiple opinions and voices in their work environment.
Awesome.
There's a point in time where like I was led to believe that like my EP was not acceptable for me to do because like I curse on it. I'm talking about, like eating ass on my EP, and I work for Disney, and they always say, listen, you're an artist. You have every right to do the art that you want to do. Just don't try to pretend like it's us doing it.
Right. Facts.
You know what I mean?
You gotta respect it.
You have to respect it, and you have to respect the brand and what they represent because they have worked really hard to get that,
okay.
and they work very hard to keep it. So all respect to that. Having said that, they are totally fine with us having open, honest conversation on our personal platforms, on our social media, in situations like this. Because they understand that we're people.
Shout out Disney.
Yeah, shout out to the mouse. This is
Yeah.
why I pay that $6.99 a month. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Yeah, it's $6.99.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
That's not bad.
I got it. I got it. But I don't know how much.
I was thinking about transitioning to the $12.99 when you get the ESPN and then like the Hulu too. It can get wild. The mouse is wild.
They own everything.
Yeah. It's either gonna be them or Amazon who buys WWE. So we'll see that in a second.
Yeah.
But speaking of your EP, talk to us about the process of how. So I saw your concert on YouTube. That you performed. First of all, once I already said the extra is my favorite song on that, but your breakdown of that.
Right?
Yo, those bell bottoms.
Jazz, we got
He was out there moving and grooving and moving, y'all. Like, I was watching it and I was like, you know what? I said, this is what happens when you perform 8 times a week. He's fine. Look at him. He's just moving. He doesn't even. He didn't even seem phased.
No. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like my prep for Genie stuff has made my personal music seem so easy. Dude, constant stilettos. Like, you're not tired? I'm like, oh please, this is
Tired.
Tired.
Flawless.
Flawless, bitches.
No, never flawless. Never flawless.
No.
No, gosh, no. Oh God, no.
Why not?
If there's ever a performance where you think you're flawless, it's time to sit down. You've gotten too into yourself.
That's respect. That's respect.
You have to really always take perspective, and I think there's always something that can be fixed. You can be satisfied and happy with something, which I'm not good at. But that is a thing that is possible. I think to do a great performance, but there's always something that you can do better. Always.
And then that's what I said to this guy. He's like, "Oh, we did good. This is a good show." I'm like,
Oh no, I never.
Cool. There always could be something else. I'm like that. I'm like the nitpicker. Like,
Yeah.
no. I like my voice.
Don't get me wrong. I still nitpick at things too, but I also understand that you have to acknowledge when you win so that you can take a step forward.
That's true.
Like I was like this is a moment for us. I told him. I said, let's sit here and have it and understand it and bask in it. We have a Broadway star on here who's also been on a Netflix show, and then he's gonna be and also has an EP and also produce an off-Broadway show. Why wouldn't we bask and enjoy that?
Why wouldn't we
this
gloat
man
a
has
little bit?
decided to share his time
Absolutely.
with Black of the Berry. We truly
Greatly
appreciate
appreciate
it.
I appreciate you guys having me.
I do have another.
Well, I had a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Cause like you been asking a question. Can I ask a question now?
No.
All right. Cool.
No.
So we talked about your EP. So I just wanted to know what was next in terms of music and what were you thinking about doing next?
Well, I'm releasing a music video at the end of the month
About
for
to say.
one of the songs from my EP,
Right.
Nice.
Revival, which is like very exciting. I'm happy about that.
Okay.
Is that the one you were in Chicago for?
Yeah,
Lit.
with Alex de Guzman, who I love. He was my director. I also have such a crush on him. He's so hot.
He could become 139.
Well, he has a girlfriend. I don't know if they're down for that, but
140.
the invite is open invitation.
So you're willing to
We're
become
ready.
a unicorn for this couple?
I'm not saying I haven't been before.
What?
We're here now. Fuck it. Hold on. Let's speak about your music video.
The music video's coming out. It's really great. I think that it will explain what the song is actually about. A lot of people think Revival is a breakup song, and like it kind of is, but it also isn't. And it'll be clear in the music video. Working on a new few singles that'll come out spring, summer. Amazing stuff. Great producers, fun songs.
And now,
hopefully, one of my number ones. We'll see. I'm trying to get there.
What?
Well, your streams are definitely moving and grooving.
Thanks,
They're after.
that.
Like I said, like it's in my playlist.
See that I can. My streams are for like an indie artist.
Yeah, you lit.
I'm like, oh, okay, I did that.
Yeah.
That one I did. Not flawless, but I did do that. I'm very grateful that people don't know me and are listening to my music.
Well, they're getting to know you.
Still appreciative of that, too.
And they want to know about the unicorn, too.
Good job. Way to be. That was excellent journalism skills.
I think that as we are, there's always swinging in social climates. I think that where we are with like this free love, open love whoever you want, regardless of what relationship you're in, it's not new. I think that we've known about this. Like this was a common practice amongst the ancient.
Yeah, ancient Greeks used to sleep, whatever.
It's not anything new, but society progresses and we think we can have new stuff and we don't, and then we just find ourselves back in the same situation again, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I have like.
You have enjoyed that.
Well, numbers 115 and numbers 123 were both married.
I love the fact that you called the numbers out. He said 115, 123. But now did you
remember them too?
And now did you? And now like they were married, but did you?
Both married to women.
No, but did you like join them in the women too, or were you just with you and them?
I mean, sometimes I let the women watch, but normally it was just me and the men. And I had a coffee with their wives, and like, cause I'm too good to be anyone's secondary anything.
Absolutely.
That's not my
ministry. Talk that shit.
Do you know what I mean? And that works for some people. I'm not some people.
Talk that shit. Let them know.
Yeah. So,
Juwan, extra motherfucking Crawley. Go ahead now.
And to honor myself and honor whatever their arrangements are, I like to have open, honest conversations with people, because there are a lot of like guys who just want to hit you up on Grindr, who are cheating on whatever, and I'm not down for that. So
you gotta be authentic and you gotta step to your shit, and you gotta show them results.
Yes, on printed or at least in the email.
And the pH level can't be off either.
Not at all.
You have to have those test results as well on hand.
But yeah, so you talk to their wife and they're like, yeah, this is something that I'm fine with. Like, he's allowed to go have his fun, I'm allowed to go have my fun.
And you just move and groove.
Yeah.
Shit, fire and save match.
Now, I know we have to be conscious of time. Unfortunately, I don't want. Are you good?
I'm not on. So, we have a few more minutes.
Okay. Now, let's get to it.
Well, I'm not on yet.
So you still kill, so you can easily...
Well, at this point, though, because the Who's On has already been out, if they were to text me any later and say that I was on, I could arrive at my regular time.
Okay, that is the whole... So, how long does it... Actually, we have left the Disney part because we are now into a whole nother field.
Okay.
The Disney people stopped listening 20 minutes ago. When we gave them that 5 seconds, they were like...
5 second glory to leave.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Click.
So, are you in a relationship currently?
No, I don't have time. I would love to be in one.
But you just don't have the time right now to focus on it.
Yeah, it's work.
Now, when you get there to that point, do you see yourself for it being monogamous, or do you think it's going to be
open?
Open relationship?
Well, I think it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm like still in the city, living in Brooklyn, like going to work every day, then no, there's no need for it to be open. But if I'm like, the dream is to be, touring Europe doing my music. If I can't bring my boyfriend, then that's a conversation that I think we should have, because sex is an important part of my life. It will probably be an important part of like the person who I'm with. That'll also probably be a very important thing to do.
Because y'all have the same energy, so obviously y'all be together. So now...
Or you can go with me on tour.
So now, what's the longest you've gone without having sex then?
Oh, I was waiting until I was married. Until I moved to the city. I was waiting till I was married.
So New York City corrupt you.
I mean, got me to have tattoos, the earrings,
you just
a hoe.
you left Connecticut and just got turned up.
Literally, Chad came
He's
to
like,
New York.
he's like, what is this place?
It's true. I was like, I'm tired of waiting. I can't do this anymore. And I came to in Connecticut, like in college, like, well, I was hooking up with my classmates, but like not doing anything like super crazy.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I came to New York, and it was like just this onslaught of men who were like, hi, hey, hey, hi, hi, hey. And I was like, I can't keep saying no.
They gotta eat.
How many times?
And now you're at 138. I don't know what to do. 138.
4 years later.
Literally.
And no herpes.
Yeah.
No herpes. But I'm gonna get it before I die. Like, let's just talk about facts. Like, and I'll be fine. It'll be great.
I almost feel like I almost think that you want it at this point.
Yeah, you kind of like, I feel like you kind of want to be, all right, got out the way, perfect. All right, now we're good.
It's inevitable. Like
all right, we got this shit, we're from there.
It's just the hypochondriac in me needs to address science as science.
Right.
In order to keep me from not living a life.
So how many, so what, do you get tested what, like every, what, you said 2 months?
I get tested every 2 months.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's how you, so kids, he's having fun, but he's making sure he's wrapping his willy and getting tested. So how, I guess my whole thing is I'm fascinated by this whole poly stuff because I don't have the bandwidth nor the temperament, the capabilities.
I don't think that's true. I think that you just might not have yet been exposed to someone who has shown you that you have the ability to do that.
I don't even want to touch them. I just feel as if those are just
very open. Very open.
What's
it's
open?
Hard.
Like the whole idea.
My shit? No, it ain't.
No.
Oh.
Hello.
No.
This is truly not a read. It's just an observation.
Yeah.
And I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends. Even in the city, like dating someone, I could not be open with someone here because I have my own insecurities about me in relationships. I don't, the insecurity, we all have them, and it always shows somewhere. For me, it shows, like, after I perform, I'm still, like, looking for that thing that wasn't right so I can get better. But also, I know in relationships, I'm, like, a little possessive and jealousy, and I'm just a really intense person, so that translates into relationships as well. So I know that if I'm with someone in a confined space, like New York, confined space, I wouldn't want to be open because I know me.
Right.
And I know that I would feel some type of way about seeing my person, well, it's not really my person, a person who I'm sharing my time with, with someone else. Especially if, like, that person was getting all the attention and I was getting none.
Then you're going to have to...
Because I also know that I'm the same person who's like, well, babe, it's okay that they're with me. It has nothing to do with you. And I'd be fine with it being me, but not fine with it being them. So that means that it's something that I have to work on inside that I don't need to do here.
This makes me ask a question. Have you ever went lemonading then? I feel as if
What is lemonade?
What?
That's when Titus went out in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, no, I don't have time. No.
Just like, I don't know why, I just had like a sense of like...
elaborate for the people.
So lemonading was when Titus in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was singing Lemonade by Beyonce. And he went to breaking everything on the way to his boyfriend's car because Titus thought that he was cheating on him. But he wasn't.
If someone ever cheated on me...
That's what I'm asking you. Would you be eliminating?
I would write
the
greatest love song.
Oh, yeah. So
First I would write the song that would get me my Grammys, And then I would be very upset.
Jasmine Sullivan. That's what I'm doing.
The amount the amount of joy and glee that popped on your face, and it was kind of like, the minute that happens, I'm just cashing in on all of that. Like, you just look like you can't wait.
I mean, shit, man.
Well, I mean, I fell in love with somebody for the first time. Well, not the first time, but, like, the second time in my life being in love recently. And it's not a realistic thing because that person is not here. And I was very excited to feel those feelings. And I was very sad when that wasn't working. Like, I was heartbroken. But as an artist, I was also very low-key, like, happy that I was heartbroken because it was something that I hadn't experienced yet.
Absolutely.
And it opened up a new part of me. And how wonderful as an artist to get to explore that and to kind of, like, live in the pain and the sadness and the, like, loneliness. And I love people, but, like, I generally don't care about people. That came across wrong. It's like...
No.
That came across wrong. I do care about people.
No, I know what you mean.
But I put my work first. And this was the first situation in a very long time, besides, like, family, that took precedent over my work.
Respect.
But go piggyback on that. Not for nothing. Mary J. Blige's been capitalizing off that pain for 30-something years.
Yeah.
Yo, Mary's whole career has been just making
Somebody
sure.
hurt her so bad.
She got to a divorce. Everybody's like, all right.
Where that, Mary? Where that?
When she sang "No More Drama" live and caught the Holy Ghost, I'm like, wow, we have to find this man.
I'm not gonna cry no more. How do you listen? How do you have a song saying "I'm not gonna cry no more" while you're crying?
But that's
That
that
let you know what it is.
But to feel that deeply, it just.
You can only, I get what you're saying,
It
because
sucks as a person, but you love it as a creative.
Yes.
Because when you feel what Mary's putting out, then you start to really think about what she had for her to even get to that kind of place.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and then it's just like, damn, like then we understand why there's elimination that happens.
She loves hard. She loves hard.
Oh no, Mary loves hard. My baby Jill Scott loves hard. Jill.
Oh, well, Jill is the queen of everything. She liked one of my tweets once, and I almost fainted. I told her, I said, I need Jill Scott and Kendrick Lamar to do a Christmas album with Chance as a producer. And
I would be mind blown. I think my life would be complete.
I'm like,
it has come to fruition.
I'm not even a Christian, but okay, yeah, go ahead. Merry Christmas, ho ho ho.
It would be insane. I mean, the level of intellectual integrity between the three of them, and also just artistic authenticity and just straight up skills would be like insane. Just let me do one track, Joe. I just need to do one track with y'all. Be off to the rest.
Jill Scott, like, listen, Joe. One day we will. Our professional paths will cross. I can't wait for it, baby.
Don't listen to Jill, because she'll get you in trouble though.
Nah, I already.
Jill's responsible for like 70 of my one,
Really?
Yeah, because you have a playlist.
I know what you're saying. So 70 of them could be. See, look, that's what Jill does. She brings people together.
Cross my mind. Oh my God.
70 out of 138. Damn near half.
Jill Scott brings it.
It's because I was listening to Jill Scott and got in my feelings.
So
God damn it, Jill.
So here's a question: you sound like you're the aggressive one?
Yeah.
In your ventures.
Well, I'm just aggressive in life, yeah. So that translates into
your because you basically just said how in your situations you were the one that's getting pleased and it's not going.
He's the pitcher.
He's everything. He's everything. He's the big dog.
Well,
he's like I'm a pitch, but I'm not even gonna pitch. I'm gonna hold the ball and you're gonna play it still. You're not gonna
figure out what you want to do. Actually, no, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do, and you better do it right.
It's gonna be.
I'm working on being better, but it's hard, and there's so many people who are cool with that. Do you know what I mean?
You're kind of fucking selfish. Kind of wanted to call you out.
You don't give a fuck.
I am. My friends now. My friends have told me. My truest friends are always like, Juwan, you gotta give more. I'm like, I give so much to so many people all the time.
You like give
in my life that
I'm giving him the opportunity to do this to me.
Yeah, that's really right.
Give. I gave him enough. We didn't give him shit. Nope. I'm here with you, Juwan. I'm here with you.
I'm trying to be better. But like the guy who I just was my most recent like really intense experience, none of that applied because I wanted to give to him because he gave a different thing to me. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on like whether you're like a random hookup.
Right.
A friend, I sleep with a lot of my friends. I'll give more to my friends, obviously, because they're my friends. Or like someone like I love. I'm gonna treat someone I love way different.
It's levels to the shit.
Yeah.
Look at that shit. I'm caught on the fact that he's.
I'm still caught on there's 138, motherfucker. That's sometimes lifetime goals these guys don't even got.
I think the episode has to be titled
38.
Juwan Crawley.
No. Stop the episode right now. 138.
In 4 years though.
We gotta really break down the math on that because that shit is really insane. Like I remember I was in college and I would like when I would hear girls' body counts, I'd be like, all right, so 20, 22.
So he's not that bad.
It's not a lot when you think about it.
It's 30. It's only 34 people a year.
Nigga, that's a lot.
That is.
It's not a lot.
But
It's not a lot. There's 52 weeks in a year.
And you damn near got one for everyone.
You along for holidays, right? Like you had to do some other shit.
He
like
took
you
off
just
federal holidays, spring break, and Juneteenth. He took those days off.
And Black History Month. He just went the whole month. He just like I'm chilling.
I mean, it's short and like I work a lot, so I need to relax.
Yeah.
And when you do, you just do it. I ain't mad at
Yeah,
you.
but also like, I'm a 25-year-old gay guy in New York. Like it's It's
It's like, yeah, about to say, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like.
I also think that a lot of this is a result of me growing up so Christian and being like so repressed for so long.
Yeah.
And then there's like, what? I'm free. I'm free. Watch me fuck everybody. You know what I mean?
Do whatever I want.
You get the dick. You get the dick. Everybody gets the dick.
But I'm not touching shit.
That's the bougie in me. It's like, but I am the gift. You know what I mean?
You see how serious he got? The gift is me.
So from 1 to 138, what is your takeaway, man? Like, have you grown? What is your
Yes.
whole thing?
Well, I've learned that at the end of the day, everybody is different. Every single body is different.
Mm-hmm.
And things that work for A, B, and C are not going to work for E, F, G. And it's about talking to your partner and like figuring out what is good for both of you. Being honest about everything, I find. And also that like not all sex has to relate or translate into something more than just a night.
You see that, people? That doesn't go. That transcends orientation. That was just regular relationship advice.
This whole sequence of episodes has been very, very sexually educating for our guests.
Oh, and I'm sure they can appreciate.
I mean, not our guests. Excuse me, our
Well,
viewers
listen,
and fans.
the
Not our
reality
guests.
is that everyone is doing this. It's just no one's talking about
no
it.
no one's okay with really talking about it.
Which I don't understand. Like, we all know we're doing this. Like, this is a thing that all of us are doing. We can make better informed choices. Have more fun. Have better sex if we talk.
I think, and that part of true. Well, you know what it is too. You know, and we're not going to get too big into it. We're just talking about the issue is that you got the institutions. You know, we're supposed to have a separation of church and state, but they really don't understand that. So everything they always look at it from the morality of like Jesus. It's like, oh, or God. It's like, oh, you can't teach that in school. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're gonna be corrupting the kids. It's like, no, from a scientific portion of it, you do want to kind of give them this knowledge so they can make informed choices of what they want or what they don't want.
And not only that, even if you're going to teach them what they want, though, they still have access to whatever they want.
That's the issue, especially with technology
Yeah.
at the grasp of their fingers.
They have computers in their
Porn
hands.
is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it's training people to do sex incorrectly.
Yes.
Talk about it.
Everyone's
expect
watching
different
porn,
things.
and they think they want to get like choked and rammed up against a wall and like
Until it happens.
pounded until they're dying. Until it happens, they're like, wow, that was not fun. That was uncomfortable. That was painful. That was not enjoyable. And it's because you're trying to recreate a fantasy instead of like living in reality. And a lot of people when they're having sex are trying to imitate porn.
Right.
That's not sex. They're actors.
Right. And even that too, sometimes like it like devalues your experience because you're watching so much porn now. You're now page 1 doesn't get it for you now. Now you're at 138 or 147.
Yeah.
And then it's like
This shit like crazier and crazier and
yeah,
crazier.
you're just like, all right.
And then you're like, all right.
And then so when you have sex, you're just like, I watch so much porn, like this shit is not even, I'm expecting this or I'm used to this, and it's like that's not what happens. You know
I
what
will
I'm saying?
say, just across the board, the best sex I have ever had has always been with people who I've sat and talked to about like what we were gonna do before we did it.
Wow.
I said, what do you like? What don't you like? This is what I'm willing to do. I can't do more than this. I can do that. Okay, well maybe we'll try this. Like having that type of open, honest conversation has always led to having better sex. Also talking during sex, I find is like very not only is it hot, but it just shows that you're actually with the person.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why you think about
I
porn.
like to have like live press conferences during, like go ahead, speak your piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets fun.
Give me some Yelp reviews.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Have some fun.
5 stars on Google Google reviews.
Let me know how it
It
is.
goes back to that thing about me where I just always want to know what I can do better.
Absolutely.
So like help me figure out what I can do better about this if you're a person I love. If you're like just
If you just
random
then
fact,
you
then
just
you
a
understand
slide.
like what that
It's
is.
a random night. They're not getting anything because you're not touching them. You're just standing like
Exactly.
a mannequin.
Precisely.
So you're like,
Oh no, but no, not really. Even with those people, like we still have conversations. Like, hey, this is just so you know, like in regards to what I want to do tonight. This is what I want. If this does not work for you, totally good. There are people who it does. So let me know. So let me know.
Here's a question: are you bringing the one night stands back to your crib? Do you go to their crib, or do you like go like a mutual?
It depends. I think it depends.
You go to the telly.
See, you know what it is.
I'm sure your game, but
see, when I was single and had my own space, I felt always better like come to me, because then like like if you're trying to get crazy.
That's what I said.
My motherfucker, let's go.
We used to live together. I was like, listen, I don't travel well. I like home games better.
yeah, he does it. Yeah, every day was always a home game with him. Our door was revolving because of this motherfucker.
Oh, hey, come on, I'm at 138, motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, yes. I'm sorry. You were nowhere near that. Respect the God.
I think that
I don't think I'm triple digits. That's.
I'm sure you'll get there.
Just keep living.
Just keep living home.
138 is like with my tippy toes, like
one day
trying to get the box of cereal on top of the fridge.
Mom, help.
It just depends on what the person is, what we are going to do that night.
I got you.
Like if we're going to be chill, then no, come to my place. But like, if I plan on having like a full-on encounter, tops, we have it easier. Like, I want to do whatever is more conducive for the person to have to do extra work, the bottom. Whatever makes their life easier, because they have a whole, like, extra 10 steps for gay sex than we do. Like,
absolutely.
So it's just about...
100%.
Wow. Crazy, because as a heterosexual male, I was kind of interested in what those 10 steps are. I know I'll never have to experience that, but I was like, what... That's fascinating that it's a whole different...
Well, I mean, okay, look.
Whole different protocol.
We're having anal sex, right? It's a butt. Nobody wants to...
Oh, because you gotta like...
They need to
eat like the next...
They gotta clean out. They gotta the diet has to change a little bit.
This is great for Black in America. This is verse. Some people might be disgusted. Some people will be like, oh shit.
Well,
we're edge of motherfucking here.
And they don't have to be one of my members.
Right.
They can live their life. I'm not going to force anything upon them. But I do think that education is important, whether you partake or not. Because the reality is that if you're actually disgusted by this, that probably means you want it.
Talk about it.
But take your time to do your process.
And just figure out who you are. And also, too, though, this can also help, some of you motherfuckers who are, fucking your girlfriend in the ass. Maybe you can have her clean it up before you out there.
The same thing?
That's why y'all upper lip is always all nasty and shit. Y'all out here eating dirty ass.
You gotta fix your pH.
And the pH is literally shit because they ain't going through the steps. Yeah, she ain't going through the steps. She was just eating some chicken 2 hours ago when you went down there and you got it fucked up.
It is important that what she does is up to her.
If she wants it, true.
If she wants it.
Maybe she don't want it. Maybe you gotta eat it like
if
that.
She's not doing nothing, then that might be a sign that she doesn't want to do
it.
Right. But this is where open, honest conversation comes in handy. Talking about, this is cool, consent is very important. And it's actually really hot. Like,
you should ask before you put the finger in there. Before you put the finger in the butt, ask. All right, y'all.
I'll be like Future. Just do it. Future and Nike, just do it.
This is fucking great. Now,
sound effect was definitely not needed.
Hey, we here now. I had no idea. I would have had no idea, and it's funny because who would have ever thought? Just from the individual I saw on Instagram, and I've seen you at the Genie Jukebox.
Yeah.
So at the Genie Jukebox, what number were you around there? Like 115-ish?
Oh, don't do Timmy.
Yeah.
Don't date him.
Oh yeah. That was we ain't gonna do that to you.
I was in the hundreds.
Damn, hundreds.
Oh yeah, maybe you were close because you were almost. That was like almost a year ago.
Yeah,
that was a year ago.
Like 34
Oh
years.
yeah. Look at that. You on average. Look at that. You out here. You see. You know your shit.
There's a system. There's a system to this.
Listen, this has been more than a treat, more than a pleasure. We don't want to keep you too long because we know that you do have to go on. Unfortunately, unless you're still here down to kick it, then we will continue this on.
No, I gotta go.
We respect and appreciate that.
But this has been so fun.
Thank you. Listen, and when your new EP comes out or whenever you want to, please stop on back on by.
Absolutely.
Press run.
Yes, please stop on by.
Listen, we're here for it.
Hey, you said so your single's dropping in 2 months. You said. I mean, the music video.
The music video comes out at the end of the month.
End of the month.
The single comes out spring, early summer, and then I have another concert April 19th at The Groove in the West Village.
Okay.
So where can people get the tickets to go get you to check out the concert?
Oh, I'll put it on my I can put it on my Instagram.
Which is?
I haven't done it yet. Juwan Crawley. It's just my name. JUWANCRAWLEY.
Y'all can go ahead and check him out. Slide in his DMs. You could be part of
The number.
You could be from
Come
the
join the army.
From what? All right. You could be from 140 to 200. it's like selling seats at MSG.
Where you want to go? What time? I don't have time. I won't be around. Listen, once again, thank you so much. This is Black the Berry. I am Dean. That is the Madman Los. We had a hell of a motherfucker in here. Juwan extra motherfucking Crawley, a.k.a. Mr. 138. And counting. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Oh man, this is
That was so
yes.
fun.
Thank. Oh man, this is
That was so
yes.
fun.
Thank you so much. That has
Of
been
course.
great. Whew. We would love to have you back on in the summer once you got like everything up and run for you. Got some more time. We would definitely be down.
This was.
I don't know if you expected us to get this.
You know.
To get this wild.
But it's, I think it's just life, and I feel like, for some reason, sex is a thing that people are scared to talk about, even though it's a thing that literally every person in the world does.
100%.
No.
Most of them are like, and most of them have some kind of like weird thing going on. You want some?
Or just a weird, or just like,
No, you
just,
don't. That's
you know
why.
what it is? It's just like,
I wasn't gonna
sometimes
do
two
that.
people, it's just, we view it so as taboo
I already knew what it
that
was.
we're just like scared.
And you're like, but, and I just don't, I don't
Scared
get
to
why.
even talk about it.
I really don't get why. Like, there's no,
You know something funny? My cousin told me that we were he said that, and this was when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He said that our generation was going to be the generation that had this more like
Open.
open alternative
Well, I mean, look at it.
sex life.